Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the channel. It is currently 5:23 a.m. East Coast time, Tuesday, December 17th. About 8 days till Christmas. Christmas is awesome, especially because NBA DFS. Don't worry, I'll be getting you out a video for that day as well. But we get a 6-game NBA slate today. If you're new to this channel, new to this podcast, welcome. My name is Sal Vetri, and I cover daily fantasy sports in the NFL, NBA, WNBA, MLB, will be golf as well. But pretty much all you have to know there is daily NBA videos throughout the week for almost every single day, and then mostly every single day, and then also NFL videos right now on the channel. So check it out, roam around. I also have Patreon exclusive content. Currently on my Patreon exclusive content, you're going to be finding NBA projections every single day with my player pools. You're going to be finding NFL information dropping every single day. Started yesterday, goes throughout the week. So check that out if you are interested. That is my Patreon exclusive. That is where you can find and house my projections, more podcast episodes, things like that. Again, about 350 patrons over there right now. If you are interested, down below in the description, there is, and I'll put a little pop-up up here too, a link to Patreon. You can follow me on my social medias. Yesterday we hit 17,000 subscribers, so we released the NBA projections for free. I sent out an Instagram story to let people know, and really only people on Instagram knew where to find them and how you can get there and the link to them. So if you're interested in that and you're interested in any exclusive content leaks like that, follow me on Instagram, Sal Vetri, linked up down below as well. So those are most of the plugs. The last thing that I have to say is another contest. We did one last night. Let's do another one tonight. $10 PayPal giveaway. Who is your favorite play in the 5 and 6K range? So 5 to 6K on the slate at any position tonight. Leave your Twitter handle. Leave a way for me to contact you for money, PayPal, Venmo. And also the big thing, you have to be a subscriber and hit the notification bell. Awarded yesterday somebody spinning the wheel, but I realized that they did not hit the notification bell, so I spun it and I ran somebody else, and they've been contacted yesterday for the PayPal giveaway. So tonight, 5 to 6K range, who's your favorite play? Leave your Twitter handle, some way for me to contact you, and or a PayPal, something like that. I could just send you the money, but you must be subscribed and must also be hitting the notification bell. And don't worry about you over there listening with your ears on the podcast episodes. You can come over and participate on YouTube, or if you leave a 5-star rating and review, it counts as 3 entries. Yesterday, actually, somebody who left a review was the winner, so it counts as 3 entries, 3 times the chances of winning the $10 PayPal giveaway for the NBA slate tonight. All right, hit the subscribe button, once again, notification bell, and enter that contest. Let's get into the video. So, injury news. Starting in Atlanta, we'll go alphabetical by the team for the 6-game slate, like these mid-sized slates. Kevin Huerter for Atlanta. He's going to be questionable with a shoulder injury today, $4,200. He's been on this phantom minutes limit of 30, they say. It was 25, then 30. The Hawks were giving guys like DeAndre Hunter 35-minute limits earlier in the year. It makes no sense, but he'll be questionable today. For Brooklyn, Kyrie Irving remains out for at least 2 more games with a shoulder injury. Karis LeVert questionable with a thumb injury, but he did travel with the team, so first time he's actually been questionable. I don't think he plays in this one, but keep an eye on it, because first time he's traveled with the team for a road matchup. He gets New Orleans today at 5,700. If he does suit up, a decent spot. I would imagine a minutes limit, though. For Charlotte, Nicholas Batum is doubtful with a hand injury. His fingers, they've been messed up all season. PJ Washington just had finger surgery. He's going to remain out. That is going to impact a bunch of people. You might see Miles Bridges play more 4 minutes. Marvin Williams is probable for today. He's missed a couple of games now for about a week, 2 weeks really. He'll be back to play more 4 minutes. Cody Zeller got a lot of minutes at the 4 in the last game. Both him and Biyombo played 28 minutes, so they were on the court together. But we'll see now with Marvin Williams back, if Cody Zeller's minutes drop now at the 4, it's really hard to predict what's going to happen with the Charlotte Bigs. The Clippers probably have the most injury news on the slate, and they do. JaMychal Green doubtful with a tailbone injury. Lou Williams and Pat Beverly, the guards there, both point guards, are questionable. Lou Williams with a calf, Patrick Beverly with a concussion. And now you get over to the Lakers. Anthony Davis is questionable with an ankle. They said he was uncertain. They ruled him questionable. They've been telling us every single day when Anthony Davis is probable. He's going to play. Don't worry about it. We don't need to hear the reports. Twitter, get off his case, right? But now he's questionable. So I think that anytime that Anthony Davis from now on is questionable instead of probable, since they go out of their way to tell us he's probable, that's really, really a sign that he's probably leaning towards not playing, if I had to bet. And if that's the case, well, it's LeBron James season. It's Rajon Rondo, more usage and overall, right? JaVale McGee and Dwight Howard down low. Whoever starts, and really either of them should be in a good spot, but I would take the one who starts. Kyle Kuzma is out with an ankle, so look at this. You have no Anthony Davis, no Kuzma. The 4 minutes are just all there. I don't know what to do with the 4 minutes here. I don't know how they go about this. They're not going to play Dwight Howard and McGee next to each other. Do they put LeBron down to the 4 here? Do they put more minutes at the 3? They can do a lot of things, but with no Kuzma, no Anthony Davis, there's virtually 48 minutes at the 4 to give away. And Jared Dudley, I don't think is going to be taking up all of them, although Jared Dudley should play 20 plus now. He's been playing 17 as of late. it's an interesting spot for what's going to happen with those 48 minutes at the 4. We'll monitor it throughout the day. For New Orleans, J.J. Redick is going to be out with the groin. That will help guys like Josh Hart. That will help some of the guys in the secondary units off the bench, Alonzo as well to an extent. For Phoenix, Devin Booker missed the front end of the back-to-back last night. I have him as questionable with a forearm tonight. De'Aaron Fox is questionable. Potential return today with an ankle injury. He's 7,700 versus Charlotte. And finally, Mike Conley will make his return today, probable off of this hamstring injury against Orlando. He is 5,500. That will affect Joe Ingles and probably send Ingles back to the bench. Target offense sheet. We still do not have two of these games totals. The two games that we don't have are the Lakers or the Clippers and Phoenix, probably because of Devin Booker, and then the Lakers and Pacers, probably because of not just Kyle Kuzma, no, Anthony Davis as well. So what I'm looking at here is the highest total on the slate and the highest game total, and should be a really fun game, especially if you get LeVert back for any, even if it's just 10, 15 minutes. Well, 15 minutes would probably be more of a reasonable limit, but 231.5 game total. Right now, the highest total by 10.5 points. I think that might change with the Phoenix and Clippers game, at the late night game at 10:30, but this 8 p.m. Eastern start for New Orleans and Brooklyn. Brooklyn, 2-point favorites, 116.75 team implied total. New Orleans, 114.75. I like a lot of things from both of these games. Spencer Dinwiddie continues to produce at a 40 fantasy point per game clip and really not hitting a ceiling as of late, but just consistently dropping 40 fantasy points, and now his price point drops to 7,500. In a matchup that should continue to be favorable for him. If Lonzo plays a little bit more, starts the game maybe this time, maybe it's a little bit more difficult for Dinwiddie, but overall, not a terrible spot. You look at the other pieces of Brooklyn today, and you're getting nice matchups all across the board, especially down low at the bigs. I think Jared Allen's price point coming down is intriguing. If you get 28 to 30 minutes out of him, it's a smash spot. I like Taurean Prince a little bit more, though, for the cheap 5K price range point on him. Might be my favorite 5K play of the day. We'll have to see. But right now, I go Spencer Dinwiddie, Taurean Prince against this New Orleans team. Even though New Orleans is getting back Derek Favors, played 20 minutes in the last one, potentially can see that minutes limit go up a little bit. It's really not that much to get me away from the Jared Allens of the world or the Taurean Princes. You could always take a gamble on Joe Harris. You're going to have to hit his 4 to 5 point 3-point night in terms of making them. So give me Dinwiddie, give me Taurean Prince, give me Jared Allen. From the opposite side, I really am intrigued by Derek Favors today. If he played 20 minutes in the last game on a minutes limit, I want to see if that gets removed. I want to see if he starts the game. If that's the case, then he's in a great spot. Jackson Hayes played the other 28 center minutes. They split them 20 and 28. Hayes, if he's going to continue to start and there's no news on Favors minutes increasing, I would expect 26 to 28 minutes out of Hayes against Brooklyn. Either of those spots are really good. I'm hoping Favors starts because he's in the 4K range. If not, then I'd probably go back to Hayes here. Brandon Ingram, another player that if you're just facing Brooklyn bigs, going directly up against Taurean Prince, will be able to pull his man away from the basket pretty easily. It's a really good spot for Brandon Ingram, who also saw his price point reduce. I like everything in this game. There's a lot of pieces. Lonzo is in an okay spot. Drew Holiday is also in a great spot. I prioritize New Orleans, for me, as Derek Favors if he was to start, if not Jackson Hayes, and then Brandon Ingram, Drew Holiday. This whole entire game, I still want Spencer Dinwiddie over everybody. The next highest total on the slate is 221, and that is where the New York Knicks are actually favored by 2 points. Yes, you read that right, favored by 2 points. 111.5 team total for the Knicks, 109.5 for Atlanta here. But what you're looking at is the slowest paced game on the slate, just disgustingly slow. The Knicks are losing 3.25 possessions. Atlanta playing really slow. They're losing 3. So this is just a gross game all around. Trae Young remains too expensive, especially for this pace down spot. It's a fine matchup, but just too expensive for me to want to get to. Atlanta's just not appealing. They do have the currently 4th highest team total on the slate. If I had to imagine, by the time these other 2 games come out, they probably drop to the 6th, 7th highest team total on the slate. So it's just probably not a spot that I'm actually going to end up getting to. Not a lot here stands out. Horder is questionable. He's in a nice price range, but who knows how many minutes he plays, if he even plays. Jabari Parker is in the $5,900 price point, I believe, but really tough matchup against New York, as they're just going to be for 48 minutes straight, really big at the power forward and the center spot. So yeah, nothing from Atlanta stands out for me here. On the opposite side for the Knicks, I think RJ Barrett's at an interesting price point. He's still getting the minutes. He's just been abysmal over the last couple of nights. I think he's fine to take shots on. Julius Randle at $7,000. Price is getting up there, but I do think that he would be the one piece I would like to continue to get back to here, going up against Jabari Parker, Damian Jones, Alex Len, and then Mitchell Robinson on a 6-game slate. If you wanted to take chances, he's going to play. They're going to try and get him to play 26 to 28 minutes. He's been playing right around that, 25 per game as of right now. Not having those spike 3-4 block performances yet, but when he does, when he gets that, because it's going to happen, and honestly, he's a guy, if he played 36 minutes, can average 5 blocks a game, right? So keep an eye on him. He's 5,600. He's probably a little bit risky for this slate, but I do indeed like him. So those are 2 of the higher, or the highest so far, team totals on the slate. Charlotte, I will point out that this is just a gross game. 101.25 team implied total for Charlotte as 4.5-point underdogs to the Sacramento Kings, who have a 105.75 team total, and they might be getting De'Aaron Fox back today. Marvin Bagley could potentially return to the starting rotation today. We'll see. They've been kind of teasing it, but it's just a spot where Charlotte's bigs are going to be a big issue here. You have no PJ Washington, Bismack's continuing to start at the 5, but now Cody Zeller and Marvin Williams and maybe even Miles Bridges to an extent are going to have to split these 4 minutes. It's a really nice pace up spot for the Sacramento team of about 2 possessions. Charlotte a big pace down spot, so not a spot where I'm getting a ton of Charlotte here. I do want to try and hit the nail on the head with who's starting at the 4. Whoever starts at the 4, whether it's probably going to be Marvin Williams, we'll see. I would have a little bit of interest there, but Cody Zeller can still see getting the backup center minutes as well as some 4 minutes, somewhere into the mid-20s once again. And this would be a nice spot against Sacramento. On the Sacramento side, I'm going to really have interest in Marvin Bagley the second he joins the starting rotation, but for right now I can't get there. And then it's just going to be watching De'Aaron Fox. If De'Aaron Fox at 7,700 starts, I imagine some sort of minutes limit. I don't really want it. That's going to pull a lot of usage and overall production away from Buddy Hield, whose price point is up. So Sacramento just becomes a wash team for me. There's a lot of teams on the slate that I think are priced properly, and injuries might actually make them because of returning players, similar to Utah. You can talk about with Mike Conley returning. It's making a lot of these places to find value just not attractive right now. So I think New Orleans and Brooklyn has a lot of pieces to attack, depending on what happens with Anthony Davis in the Indiana Pacers game. A lot of pieces to attack there. Let's get into some of my early interests now for this specific slate. So currently have 19 players on here. At the top in yellow, LeBron James, 10,900. Also, if you're still listening to this point, please do hit that subscribe button and the 5-star notification bell. Once again, down below or 5-star rating on the podcast and the notification bell on YouTube. Once again, down below. If you leave your favorite player in the 5 and 6K range, you will be entered into a chance to win. You must be subscribed with the notification bell. And if you're on the audio version, just leave a 5-star rate and review, and you will get in there for a $10 PayPal giveaway. Just leave a way for me to contact you. Appreciate all of you so much. And also check out my Patreon exclusive content. I'll link that up right now above if you're interested in NBA projections. It's as cheap as like 70 cents a day or something, even if you get the package that gets you both NBA and NFL. It is what exactly keeps the lights on here at the Sal Vetri YouTube channel and podcast, if you will. Back to the video, 10,900 for LeBron James. Yeah, he's only in yellow because I like him either way here, but point guard, small forward eligible is fantastic. 35 minutes, 35% usage. He's setting career highs for his assist percentage and his usage rate right now, and that's with Anthony Davis on his team. The pace in this one should be very favorable, around 106 possessions, which as of right now is going to be the highest on the slate. The only reason I have yellow on him is because of Anthony Davis. Either way, I like LeBron, but if Anthony Davis is out, it's a no-brainer. So I put him in yellow just to let you know that if Anthony Davis is out, LeBron on this slate is a no-brainer. There's really not that many pay-up options. Brandon Ingram against Brooklyn. The guy's pushing a 30% usage rate. It's slowly coming down. There's a big span where there's no Drew Holiday, and he was taking on all the usage and no Lonzo, but 28.8% usage this year, playing over 33 minutes per game. He'll get all of his time probably tonight at the 4, and even if he moves to the 3 a lot, that's pretty good because he's going to have a sizable advantage in terms of assists and just pure scoring opportunities at the 3. Even if at the 4 where he'll pick up more rebounds. Drew Holiday is teammate at 7,700. I do prefer Brandon Ingram tonight, but Holiday 26.2% usage, 36 minutes per game right now. Hard not to like him. The only issue with this team is they're going to be in a pace down spot here, but it's okay. Overall, their price points are accounting for it in a really good matchup. Dinwiddie on the opposite side. I like Ingram, I like Holiday, but Dinwiddie is my favorite piece of this game. He also happens to be the cheapest piece of it. Look, once again, he's still playing 1.3 fantasy points per minute with no LeVert, and LeVert potentially could return today, we're seeing, but I think it's an outside shot. No LeVert or Irving, who's out for 2 more games. You get a 35%, close to 40% assist rate. You get a 35% usage rate. You get a 1.3 fantasy points per minute. He's at 7,500. He probably should be 8,500 for me to not want to get here, but I like it at the $7,500 discount. Vooch played 29 minutes in his last game. Has a brutal matchup against Rudy Gobert in this one. He's 7,300. I'll probably put him in yellow. He's just not a guy that I'm all that convinced that I want to prioritize, but I do think he's in a sneaky spot. I mean, this is an $8,500 center night in and night out. And if he just gets back to his normal 32 to 34 minutes a run here, even in a difficult matchup, it's going to be a nice spot for a guy who, as a center, has over a 25% usage, picks up assists, always gets blocks. The toughest matchup you could find against Rudy Gobert today, but I think he's priced for it. It's just a matter of prioritizing him next to guys like Drew Holiday and Spencer Dinwiddie. Julius Randle at 7K against Atlanta I think is completely fine. Probably my favorite thing from this Knicks team. Kelly Oubre Jr., so we'll see what happens with Devin Booker. Kelly Oubre has been taking over point guard minutes when Booker misses, which just gives a lot more minutes to McCall Bridges at the 3. It gives a lot more minutes at the 4 to guys like Cam Johnson. And also the 3 for Cam Johnson, because you're taking some of those 3 minutes for Kelly Oubre where he plays a ton, right? 35 to 40, and you're splitting them up to the point guard position because they'd rather have Oubre running the point with Bridges on the court than having a guy like Javon Carter getting out on the court. So at 6,700, he's going to get more point guard usage. I do like Kelly Oubre here and at the very least, shooting guard usage for more shot attempts from three if Ricky Rubio's controlling the point. We talked about Mitchell Robinson, somewhat of a risk here on a 6-game slate of 5,600. I do think he's at least in play against Atlanta. Just a really nice matchup, and they continue to try and get him the minutes. He's been staying out of foul trouble as of late. Marvin Bagley I haven't read because I don't want to play him, but I have him on here because if you see Marvin Bagley is starting, or they give you a notification on Fantasy Labs that Marvin Bagley is in, that would be a spot that I would want to target with heavy volume against a Sacramento team that just leaks points, absolutely leaks points to the bigs. Still, most points in the paint allowed. Taurean Prince at 5,500, probably my favorite play in this 5K, maybe even 6K range against New Orleans today. Small forward eligible, but he'll play power forward for 32 minutes tonight. 20% usage for a guy with a nice rebounding rate in a good spot against New Orleans. I'll take that. Cody Zeller I have in yellow. Not really interested right now. I want to see what the starting lineup looks like. He did play 28 minutes, and so did Bismack in the last game, so they were playing alongside each other for like almost 10 minutes in that game. But now you have Marvin Williams probable. PJ Washington was the reason that he was playing more minutes at the 4, Cody Zeller, because Washington was finger surgery. But now you have Marvin Williams probable. We'll see how many more minutes leak over to Marvin Williams and who indeed starts. Frank Kaminsky at 5,000. Aaron Baines is still coming off the bench, and you're getting Kaminsky getting a good amount of backup center run or starting center run, a good amount of some 4 run. So he's playing 32 minutes still against the Clippers. This is a good spot at 5K. If indeed, though, and he's in yellow because if indeed Aaron Baines draws the start, well, then Kaminsky is going to go back down to like 20 minutes per game, so I wouldn't touch him. If Frank Kaminsky starts, though, I would get some. Rajon Rondo at 4,700 might be the best value on the slate right now, depending on how some of these injury news and minutes limits turn out. $4,700 with potentially no Anthony Davis, no Kyle Kuzma already. He'll be the number 2 option on his team. Aside from LeBron, he'll be the main facilitator on this team. I do like that a lot. A guy who's just pretty much 21% usage, going to play around 30 minutes as long as he's healthy. It's a good spot for him in a tough matchup, of course, but just a good spot based on the price point. Aaron Baines at 4,600 and Derek Favors at 4,600. Both these guys are in a very similar spot. They're both on minutes limits around 20 right now. And if they both start with no minutes limit, or either of them do, they're going to be in my lineups. At 4,600 for both of them, Derek Favors against Brooklyn is a 40 to 50 point spot waiting to happen if they give him 30 minutes tonight. Similar things can be said for Aaron Baines at 4,600 against the Clippers. 2 of the better, if not best spots on the slate outside of maybe a matchup against New Orleans are the matchups against the Clippers and Brooklyn for bigs tonight. If indeed you get Favors or Baines starting, and I like them for value even if they don't start. If you gave me 22 minutes out of Baines or Favors here at 4,600, they can hit value. It's just really hard for them to hit a ceiling at that price point. If you gave me them starting, one of them starting today, and it's going to happen soon, probably more so for Baines than for Favors, then yes, give me those guys, and I have a lot of interest in them. RJ Barrett worth a flyer at 4,500. He's just still playing minutes. He's going to play 32 to 34 minutes today. Yeah, he's been terrible, but he gets a great matchup against Atlanta now. He's been very relying on shooting, not driving as much, but I'll take the chance there. McCall Bridges, I only have interest in if Devin Booker is out. Bridges should play 30 minutes again. In a nice matchup, he's shooting guard, small forward eligible for a guy who is only 4,400. And then also his teammates, so all these guys should be in yellow. His teammate, Cameron Johnson, if indeed there's no Devin Booker, all the minutes get kind of thrown around. Cam Johnson plays the 3 and the 4, and he just gets more minutes because, well, now you have Kelly Oubre going to the point guard, so it opens up more floor space for some more of those small wing-type players, wing forward, power forward hybrids. So Cam Johnson would be interesting to me if there is no Devin Booker. I would probably prefer McCall Bridges over Johnson, just more stable minutes, though. And then lastly, Jackson Hayes played 28 minutes in the last game. Favors got all the backup minutes at 20. Favors has been on a minutes limit, though, was on a minutes limit, so keep an eye on that. But if Jackson Hayes starts again and there's no news about Favors' minutes limit being reduced, then I would expect a very similar run against a very leaky Brooklyn team. And the biggest part of all this is Jackson Hayes would be playing 26 to probably 28 minutes if there was no Favors' minutes limit reduced at only $3,800. So that is that. Let me put this back to the injury, or actually we'll leave it on the early interest. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of the NBA breakdown for Tuesday today, the 6-game slate for December 17th. I appreciate you. Hit the subscribe button before you go and check out my exclusive content. Be sure to follow me over on Twitter at SalVetriDFS and Instagram SalVetri. Thank you all so much. Let me know down below in the comments and on the reviews on the podcast version if you're listening over there. Who is your favorite 5 to 6K player today on the slate? Leave your PayPal, leave your Twitter, some way for me to contact you for a $10 giveaway tonight. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all tuning in. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed that video. Above my head, if you're not already subscribed to this channel, I do ask you if you can please hit that subscribe button. It helps me out a good amount to reach more people. You can also follow me on Twitter. That's over there. Right in the corner is my @SalVetriDFS Twitter. And then above, you'll find my Patreon link. You can click on that if you want more exclusive content for me. Or a video is going to pop up, so why don't you check that one out as well. I think it's going to be beneficial for you. Thank you so much again for tuning in, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day.